In this video, I'm gonna go over how to use the particle system in Blender, and I'm gonna start with a blank screen, and I'm gonna start with adding a sphere. So what you do is you go up to where it says add mesh, and you can choose any of those objects. I'm gonna choose a sphere, UV sphere, and you see it appeared here. And what's gonna happen now, if you look at the my right side, if you look at this control, this is the particle property, the particle system, where you add the particle systems. So you click on it, and then you go up to add here. Once you add, you can see it appear here. It says particle system. And then you have so many variables here, and starting with the number, seed, frame, etc. And you don't have to use every single one of them, but there are some essential criteria you have to use. And for example, the number, how many particles you want to be to appear, like to be emitted, and then you have the frames, lifetime, and the rest you can try to change and see what they do, but that's the main ones here. And what's gonna happen now, I'm gonna have to add the modifier. So the modifier will give you more options what to do with the way you emit or collide the particles. So let's go over the modifier here, and if you go up here, it says add modifier. Once you click on this here, on this arrow, it's gonna give you options here. And the one I used is let's use I used the emission and the collision. So let's use the collision. Enter, and then going back to the particle system. Okay, so you have to choose those here. It says number, so how many particles you want to be emitted from the sphere. So this one says 1000. Let's say you want 20 particles, and then it says start frame, and these are the frames here, 1 to 250 you have. And let's start with frame 100, which is this one here. This is frame 100, and then so we enter 100 here, and then let's do it to 150. The end frame is 150. And then you can look here, instead of having the heads go back and forth from 0 frame to the 250 here, we can make it smaller, so the head does not traverse the whole 250 frames. It just traverses where we're working with the sphere. So since I have the sphere between 100 and 150, this is where I want to do the emission or the particle. So what we can do here, we can do start with 90, like 10 frames before the 100, and we can start with the 160 here, 10 frames after the 150. So we reduce the whole frame to 90 to 160 instead of 1 to 250. It's gonna take time for the heads to back and forth. So, and then this is our area of between the 100 and the 150. This is where the sphere is gonna show the emission. And then we go up, so if we go down to the source, and then it says here emit from, we have the choices of using the faces, and then we have the vertices, and then we have the volume. So I'm gonna use the faces because it may not make a difference with the sphere, but it makes a difference with the cube. The cube, you can have the particles emitted from the surfaces or from the vertices. So in a sphere, it's not going to make a difference. So what's going to happen now if we go down then you have the velocity. I'm not gonna change anything with this. So let's try it now. So now we can hit the space bar to start the playing the frames. So if you hit the play bar here, the space bar, so this is what's gonna happen. This is how you emit particles from the sphere. If we stop it now, and there's so many variations. What you can do, you can add. Now I'm emitting 20 particles. If you change it to, let's say, 200 particles, and you hit the, it's gonna give you 100 particles. It's gonna, and then you have the lifetime. I think the lifetime is per frame. It's not in seconds, it's per frame. So per the whole frames, I think, between the 90, between the 100 and 150. So let's change it. So if we use the lifetime here, let's see, 100. Yeah, so this is the lifetime of the particles, how long they gonna stay. So the less the number is, the less you gonna see them. So like if you add, let's say, make it 1000, it's gonna be more. It's gonna take more time. It's gonna keep emitting 1000. So if we make it 25, it's gonna emit less, faster. Okay, so and the distribution, the way you're distributing the particles here, it says jittered, and if we use the random, it's gonna do it in a random way. And then we have the grid. That's how it does it in a grid. So there is so many drop down options here, and you can try to see what they do. And so if you put it back to jittered, that's how it distribute them, emit them, when it comes to jittered. And here it says a particle per phase. You can change those numbers here. And also there are so many variables here. And if you keep going down, each one you can expand it and see what it does and what it has here. And there are so many options and variation you can do with this option in Blender. So if you go to physics, let's say, I never used those. I just learned this option in the last couple of days. So if you look at the viewport display size, let's see, the size is 5M. Okay, so you can increase the number, the size here. So if you make it 1M, it's gonna be less. So that's 1M. But we should make it less, 0.1M. It's gonna be less now. So that's what. So you can use those options and make some changes and see what they do. So basically, what we went over, how to use the particle system in Blender and how to modify it, to add modifier. Because once you add modifiers, then you have the options of making so many changes to the option and the way it emits. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please submit them in a comment, and let me know if you have any questions or need another explanation or other video tutorials. Thank you.